I'm going to stop sharing this, and let's go over here, and I will start sharing my desktop one. All right. So over here, I have this UML diagram. It's got on it the attributes here, and then the methods that I'm going to be writing for this mower class. So to start off, I need to create a public class mower, and that's the top section there, this mower piece. Then over here, I need to declare the attributes here. So I'm going to declare some attributes for this. It's going to be a private, and that's private because it's the minus sign there, and I've got a string, and it's going to be called model. I've also got a private double that's called gas level. So those are the attributes of the class. I could probably label those. I usually like to do something like that. And then I'm going to go in here to my methods and constructors. I'll come in here first with the constructor. We'll call it mower. And we're going to give it a parameter of a string M model, and then at param D. So this is where is it? G gas level. And then we're having no return, so that's a void return on that. So we're going to go public because it's a plus sign in front of it. And we're going to go void mower, and we're going to pass it a string M and a double G here. Okay, inside of here, we're going to declare this to have a different piece here. We're going to have the assignment here of this dot model equals M. So we're going to assign the string M that we've declared, that we're passing in as a parameter, into there as a attribute for the model that we're going to store that in. This, then we're going to have this dot gas level equals G. We might want to also go do a test here. If G is less than 0, then we may want to say double gas equals G. And then if G is less than 0, gas equals 0. Else we want to come in here and we want to say gas equals G. The other thing we might want to do in here is else if, and then have a get max gas level. If we have a tank that's only 10 gallons large, then we would want to make sure that our parameters are 0 to 10 and that we never set this above 10. So maybe we have a 10 gas level here. We haven't declared that anywhere in here, but maybe that's something that's in the specification. Else if G is greater than 10, and then again, gas equals 10. And then we can have this else gas equals G. So that way we just give it some bounds and make sure that everything is correct there. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's do a check style on this real quick. Missing a Java doc comment. So we need to add our Java doc comment in here. Mower, author J at version 4-2221. I have followed the honor code, and then we've got that in there. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we're still on here. Mower must not equal closing class name. So I think we've got an item here where I've not done something. Let's go ahead and make sure we're looking at this. Public mower, right? I don't need void in there. All right, let's go back to this. Go back to this UML diagram. So this is just public mower. I'm just declaring the mower as a constructor, so I don't need that void, obviously. So let's go ahead and finish this out here. And everything is checking out with our style check here. So everything is happy here. All right, let's move into here and let's go into the next method. So this method might have all of these things that it's doing. Then we're going to go into here and say get model. See, in here, I don't think I even did all of this. I just set the gas level in this very simple one. But this might be another example of how you would want to set the gas level within the bounds. So you definitely want to look and see if there's a specification that you're given for this particular problem. You would want to follow that specification and make sure you're doing everything according to the specification as well as the UML diagram. Inside of the PA, the final PA, you're going to have specifications for a lot of these different pieces. So you're going to have to make sure when you're doing your constructors that you follow the specification and that you're not going against things that are detailed in the specification. All right, let's go into here to do our getters. Over here, we've got a getter here. This is the getter for get model. Return string model name. That's all we need there. And we're going to go public string get model. And this is not static, remember, because we don't want that. We need this to work on an object. We're going to be not static or non-static. So this is public string get model. So we're just going to do that. And we have no parameters to pass because we're working with a current object, a current mower object. And we're going to say return this dot get this dot model. And that's that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this because this is going to be a good setup for the get gas level. Getter for gas. And we're going to say this gas level. And we're going to say double here. This will be a double. And this would return this dot gas level. So again, a simple constructor, just a single line of code, pretty straightforward. Next piece we're going to do is create a setter here. Let's go ahead and copy this. I'm not going to copy all of it because I don't want all of that because this one is doing set gas level. So it's going to do a little bit more. And we're going to have no return here. So we don't need a return item here. This is the set gas level setter, and this is a setter or a mutator, and we don't need a return in here, so it's just a simple one line piece there. And then over here we're going to say this dot gas level equals, and we're going to come into here. We do have one parameter we're passing in here. This is going to be a double new gas level. And we're going to have in here at param new gas level, double for new set gas level. All right. So this one, we might also want to do this 10-gallon check. If this dot gas level plus new gas level is greater than 10, double new gas equals 0.0. Actually, let's set it to new level. And we're going to say if this dot gas level plus new gas level is greater than 10, then new gas equals 10. So we want to make sure we're always below the max gas level is below 10 or below. So if the new gas level plus, if the current gas level plus the new gas level is over 10, we're going to not overfill the tank, and we're just going to fill it to 10. So we're going to set the gas level to 10. So that's what we're going to wind up doing here. And so this dot gas level equals new gas. And if it is not the case, then we don't really care. So we can set it to the new gas level. So what we want to do is we want to set this gas level plus new gas level, and we're going to do that. Then if we do this and it's above 10, then we're going to say new gas equals 10, and we're going to say this equals new gas. Notice here that I am not ever changing the new gas level, and you want to be careful that you don't do that. You're not wanting to ever change the parameters that you're passing in. You want to set a new interim value like this new gas double that I've created, because you don't ever want to be messing with the parameters that you're pulling in. Doing that can cause bad things to happen. It's an imprecise science when you start to work with that or start to mess with that or modify those values. So in order to not do that and not cause some problems for Java / your program, you want to definitely make sure you set an interim value here, then work with that interim value and change that interim value, then set the setter to that or your attribute to that interim value. So make sure you're understanding that. Java would give us a problem here if we decided to do this. Let's do that without this interim value here. I'm going to show you this, and we'll do this here. New gas level plus equals gas level. So you might think we could do this, and then we could say this dot gas level equals new gas level by adding the old gas level to that, and just do this. So what we do when we go through and compile here, let's go ahead and, we need to come into here and we need to do a void in there first. So that will get us past this issue. Okay. Then when we come in here and we check style here, this is where we're going to have a style issue of assignment of parameter new gas level is not allowed. And this is to protect us from hurting ourselves or doing some things that are not good. So you won't get, this won't create a compile error. Java will allow you to do this, but it is not a good best practice. You don't want to be changing these values that you're passing in as parameters. Otherwise, they're going to affect the outside values. They could affect the outside values depending on how they were declared and how they were passed in. So in order to not do this, we're going to do the piece that I have here and set an interim value in there and do this dot gas level equals new gas. We're just going to set that and forget about this piece. That is how we would resolve that assignment of parameter issue there. And now we have this coming out clean. So now we have all this clean and working. Let's go ahead and set one last parameter here. We've got this mo parameter. It's not shown in here, but we would want to be able to do something with this. And I'm going to create this mo parameter that will allow us to use some gas up inside of this program. All right. All right, so I think I've gotten everything there. Let's save that. And let's go ahead and put here mow, use gas and mow the lawn. We don't have any parameters or anything like that, so we're just going to do that and say we're mowing. If gas level is greater than 0, mow, I'm mowing. This got gas level minus equals 5, so we're going to use 5 gallons when we mow every piece. So maybe our yard is an acre and it takes us 5 gallons to mow that acre. That's what we're going to wind up doing. Else, if system out print glub, 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 no gas, if it is less than zero or less, then we have no gas in the tank and we can't do any mowing. So, and if it's less than 0, we're going to set the gas level equal to 0 because we just want to make sure we're doing proper things here. All right, so let's go ahead and public static. Actually, I'm going to go create another class here because I don't want to do this in a main in this class, just so we get an example of how to use a driver class with this. Let's go ahead and compile that. Let's go ahead and file new Java. We'll create another class here, public class lawn driver. And then we'll go public static void main string array args. And we'll come into here and we'll say mower Honda equals new mower sub, and we'll go Honda, and we'll go 5 gallons in the. So we're going to create a new mower called Honda. It's going to have these attributes. We'll save this now as lawn driver. We're going to compile this. And because we're in the same directory as the mower.java class, we can create a mower in this class because we see it inside of JGrasp. So make sure you're understanding that we need to have these two in the same, this lawn driver and the mower in the same directory again, so that we can run these pieces together. Okay, so now we're going to say we want to mow, or Honda.mow. And then we're going to do another, Honda.mow, and then Honda.mow. We're going to mow the lawn 3 times in a row here. And then we're going to go Honda.set gas, or let's go do a getter here, system out print line gas, and we're going to go us get gas level, or Honda.gas gas level, because we have to have an object that we're working with to run our getter here. Let's do this 3 times here. All right, so we're going to go do this, compile that, and run this. Mow, I'm mowing. Let's go ahead and in here create another one here, and we're going to say mower. And we're going to say Honda.get make, or get model. And that way we'll show what mower we have. Okay, so we've got mower Honda, mow, I'm mowing, gas is at 4.5, mow, I'm mowing, gas is at 4.0, mow, I'm mowing, gas is at 3.5. So we're subtracting 0.5 from it each time we're mowing. So we would have to go a long way down. Let's go to set this at 1.25 here as our gas level that we start off as. And then we can create this mow, I'm mowing 0.5, mow, I'm mowing 0.2, mow, I'm mowing, gas is 0. Let's try and do another mow here. And it should say glub, glub, glub here at some point. And let's go ahead and run this. Glub, 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 no gas. So we ran out of gas here because at the 0.25, we have an error here because honestly, we shouldn't have been able to start mowing because we know it's taking 0.5 to mow. So we did not write our mow method correctly or as well as we could have. Maybe we ran out of gas halfway through our lawn mowing, and that's what would happen here if we were actually mowing a lawn and had done this incorrectly as far as our calculations for those pieces. So make note of that. This is an imperfect definition of that mow class. We wouldn't want to be able to start mowing if we didn't have enough gas, probably, but we would probably run out halfway through. We're not able to represent that here because this mow just happens before the setting of the gas level happens. But at the end here, the next time we try and mow here, more mowing of 0.5 gallons, we're not able to do it. And so we're glub, 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 no gas. So that is what is going to happen there. Then if we come in here and we say Honda dot set gas level, and we say 0.5, then we can come in here and we can go mow again. We should be able to mow one more time here. And let's go ahead and do gas here too, so we know what the gas level is after this. And then we're at gas 0.0, but then we've added gas down here and we've got 0.5. Then we're going to mow. I'm mowing. And then again, we'll have glub, glub, glub when we get to the end of that piece again. Let's check that to make sure. And glub, 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 no gas again. So that's how this little lawnmower would work. Again, trying to work with something that you got as an everyday object that you may have seen or you at least have some familiarity with, so that we can just reinforce these concepts of how to translate an object and a UML diagram over into an actual piece of code that simulates a real life object. You could do this with an ATM. You could do this with a light switch. You could do this with an elevator. These are all common types of objects that you might want to be able to represent and do something with. And you'll have to figure out what the attributes are on your actual object. And if you were actually trying to do something meaningful, how would you represent these particular pieces? Another item that is a real popular one to do is to actually take a calculator. So I've got a 9-key calculator, simple calculator here. This object would be pretty easy to represent within a Java programming code piece. Obviously, there's easier ways to do calculations in Java than to create an actual calculator. But if you were trying to create a physical calculator, you could press the buttons on and actually do mathematical calculations. You could do that rather easily in Java and actually have something on the screen as an app that would create a calculator that you could press the buttons for, and you could get results based on that. So that's another example of types of things you can do. So let's go ahead and save this, and then I'm going to go ahead and close everything I've got here and then do the setup for my PA pieces. Let's go ahead and do this first one in JGrasp because I want to make sure you have one of these set up. Let's go ahead, and I've got a PA final in here. I'm not going to use this one. I'll do the, I'll set up a new one in here. I'll set up a new folder called PA Final JGrasp, and we'll create this folder. I'm going to go ahead and go over to here, and let's go ahead and I'm going to go to this Bovada site here, and we'll run some pieces here. I'm going to go ahead, and I've got 1 min, and 500 is a max we can bet. We've got 1,000 of these virtual dollars here. I'm going to go ahead and bet 25 in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and deal here. So this will go ahead and reload the game and try again. It must have taken too long to do this. All right. Go deal here. There we go. Okay. So it's dealing out the 4 cards, 2 to me, 2 to the dealer. And then over here, I've got a 5 and a 0, and that was going to give me a 5 over there. We had a tie scenario, so it actually added my next card, which was a 0, and I had 5. The dealer banker had 4, so I won that round, or I lost that round because they had a better hand than I did. Let's go ahead and now I'm going to bet another 25 here. I'm going to deal that out. Queen, ace, so that's 1 because I've only got the ace, and 8 and 1 is a 9, and in this case the banker wins. So because the banker had a 9, I had a 1, I lose that round, so I'm down that 25. So let's go ahead and bet another 25 here. I've got a 2, 4, 3. I've got a 10, which adds 0, 0 over here. For me, I needed another card to help me get beyond that 7. I did not get it, so I lost that one again. So this game is a cruel game as far as luck, and if you are not having lucky cards or good draws, you can continue to lose for a long time. So here we go. I've got a 5 and a jack, which was a 4. Then we have our draw card, and the banker won yet again. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go 100 here to try and recoup my losses here. This is the worst thing you can do in gambling, is this kind of action here, but I actually think I'm going to be successful. So I got an 8 and a 1, and that's a 9, and I beat the banker, so I got 100 in here. So that was actually a win for me. Let's go ahead and try and do another 100 here. I'm not sure this is actually doing correctly in my calculations here. So I've got an 8 and a 5. I should win this one. Yes, I do. And so I should get that back. So, but it's not 9 to 1 here. So I'm not getting this is not calculating correctly for me to be winning, because I should have won that round, I believe. And so I should have gotten my money back, is what I would think in there. Let's go deal here though. So, but we're not trying to evaluate that piece. This is why I definitely wouldn't do this. So again, 0 and 9, that's a 9. The banker won that one. So I am out a lot of virtual money here, and I would want to probably stop and cut my losses short, because today I'm just not having it. So 5-2, again, I lose because this is 9 and 6, which is 15. You're only taking that rightmost digit, so that's a 5. And so that one would beat my rightmost digit. So let's go ahead and do one more here, and then we'll move on to actually coding this game. So you got 2 and 2 is 4, and then I add a 7. So this is 7 plus 2, 9, 11. So we're just taking the right side digit only, and so I get a 1, and I lost that one again. So again, I wouldn't want to be going to Vegas or Atlantic City to try out this Baccarat right now, because my luck today is 0. So I've got a 6 and a 5. Again, I lose because he's got a 16, and again, the 1 and the 6, and I'll take the 6 over here and then drop the 1, because it's only concerning itself with the rightmost digit here when you've got your cards together and you're adding the values. All right, so that's how the game is scored. Let's go ahead and go back to the website here, and let's go into the final PA. I'm going to pull down the pieces that I need to actually build this locally. So first off, I can come into the UML diagram. I want to do that. You can't see this very well. Note that if you click on this, you'll get a larger version of the PNG. You can also download this PNG and then expand it bigger on your own desktop. So that's what I would recommend doing, is enlarging the size of this. You could save image as here, and then you'd have it much larger. This shows the different interactions, and also the couple of items that we've given you. There's a couple of these classes that we've given you. This is telling you the methods that are available within those classes. So make sure you understand how to use the classes that we've given you via this UML diagram. That's how we expect you to determine the things that you can do, like get a card, receive a card, size of the hand, the 2-string of the hand, different things. You may want to play around with some of these methods that are being called against some of these objects that you're not writing the code for, but you're going to be using the code from those pieces. Yes, so that's what was happening. I was betting the tie, and that's probably not a good way to be betting. So I think I would have been wanting to bet that I win, and if I did that, I might have won back my money a little bit more. Thank you for the clarification on that. I didn't even realize I kept moving right up for a tie. So if I had tied the banker, then I would have been winning those pieces. And this is how you can bet. Other people that are in the audience around you can also bet on whether you will win or lose on this too. So if you've ever seen any of the James Bond movies, that is what a lot of people tend to do, is bet what James Bond is betting. They'll bet for him because he seems to always win in these situations. I don't know how he's able to manipulate this shoe or that big old wooden apparatus that pulls the cards and the cards are pulled out of, but he seems to be able to do this all the time. So yes, thank you for the clarification of what I was doing wrong in that. But yeah, so you don't really want to be betting the tie, as you can see, because that's a losing proposition there. You would either want to bet on yourself or bet on the banker. And that's a weird one to say that you could actually bet on the other guy winning and you could win money because it would come out in the wash there. So, but that is how the game works. Let's go ahead and download these pieces. Casino.java, you may modify it, but it shouldn't be necessary. So this casino.java is a given. We're giving it to you. I'm going to put this into a CS149 in class. I'm going to download for JGrasp these two class files, download link file as. I'm going to put them into there too. Download link file as, and these are the two class files, is Baccarat table and Baccarat shoe. So Baccarat table and shoe are on the left here. You can see you can do a clear, a close, open, prompt for continue, some other methods in there, and you'll want to go into there and understand. And we've got the shoe class, which we're describing for you here too, and the Baccarat table class. These are the two that we've given you. We're describing some of the methods you may want to use from here, the show banker, show message classes or methods, and this is how you would interact with some of the pieces here. So we're doing some of those. Let's go ahead and get those other pieces. Here's the expected output of a run too, so you can compare this against yours. You're not going to be able to easily necessarily compare because the card draws won't be exactly the same because it's going to randomly draw a card. The other thing I need to do is download this stubs.zip. So I'm going to download that too. And these are a description of all the different classes. This is an example of what the graphical user interface looks like when you've got it done. And here is a recommended process for completing the final PA. Here's what we recommend you code in what order. I would definitely try to get started on this immediately. If you haven't already started on this, it's a little bit late in the game to get started. So I would try and get through at least number 7 over here and get this first 35 points working before Saturday and before the weekend really gets over. And then I would try on Sunday and Monday maybe to finish out this piece here, where you may need some help in here. So you may look at the TA hours on Sunday, and then on Monday night too, there are TA hours. And then if you're still having problems, you can still submit this late for credit. You can have Tuesday hours or Wednesday hours. And then also Tuesday in class next week, you can ask some more questions about this. But let me go ahead and do the rest of the setup for this so we can get this figured out as far as how to do the setup for it. All right, I need to come into here and I'm going to go to my in-class piece here. I'm going to take the, where are my two files? The two class files here. I'm going to pull them out of here. Then I want the stubs .zip. Pull it out here. And then I've also got casino.java, and I'm going to pull that out too. All right, so let's go ahead and go into my PA final JGrasp, and I'm going to copy all of these items into there. I'm also going to create a PA final Eclipse. In here, I'm not going to store any of these items. I'm going to go ahead and create these items from scratch because it's going to be a little bit easier to do that. Let's go ahead though, and let's pull down this jar file. baccarat.jar in there, and I'm going to pull this down. I'll pull it to my desktop here because I don't want to have to move it twice. That's how I was doing it. And I'm going to move that into the Eclipse one. So that's the only file I'm going to move into the Eclipse so that I can set up the Eclipse piece. All right, let's go ahead and go into here. I'm going to go into that PA Final JGrasp. In here, let's go into here and open it up again in the folder. I need to unzip these files here. So this stubs.zip, I need to unzip those and grab all of these files. And I want to actually move those files into here. Let's go ahead in here. Let's open up a separate window so I can just drag them. And I want to grab all 5 of these and move them into here. Place. We'll take that casino again and move it into here. So we have that. Now we can delete these stubs here because we've moved all of that into here. This is what it should look like in your PA Final JGrasp. So let's go into the JGrasp side and let's go ahead and try and load this. I'm going to refresh this, and now I've got my 2 class files and all of these files. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to load some of these files. Let's check what the load order will be here inside of here. So recommended, we need the keys. So I want to load the keys here first. I'm going to do a compile of this file here. So that works there. I want to do the card class here. I'm going to compile that. That's allowing me to compile it. Then I want to do the hand. So this is how we're doing this. So we're able to compile these, and each one is compiling. You have to do these in this order or else it won't compile correctly because some of these are interdependent on each other. So I've got the hand, and then I need to go into those. And then I've got, I think that's all I'll need here. Do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I need a card class, hand class, and keys class. Okay, now I can come into Casino and I can try and compile this class. Okay, everything is compiling in there. And everything is working there. Let's go ahead and do the Baccarat Croupier. And that is working there too. And now I've got my Baccarat shoe and table in here, and those are working as well. So I've got everything loaded into JGrasp now, so I could start my project here. In order to do this piece, you would need to run your casino in here and do it -GUI-test. So that is how you would run your item here. Let's go ahead and look at this as a run. Where's that expected output? Okay. And if this is where you could go casino-test. So let's go into casino, and then we are going to provide it some run arguments -GUI-test. And we're going to see if we can't compile and run this. And if we run this successfully, this should allow us to kick off the piece into a GUI interface, but I don't think it's doing it from that way. Let's go into here and let's go into our desktop and go to CS149 in class, and go to PA Final JGrasp. And we're going to want to go Java Casino -GUI-test. And I don't think I can run it this way because I have done all of these things in another version of Java. Let's go ahead and do this though. Let's go Java C. Which one was it in the order of these? Let's go Java C keys.java. And then I'll go Java C card.java. So I'll recompile these by command line and go hand.java. Java C casino. Java C Baccarat Croupier.java. Okay, then I need to do this again, casino.java. Great. Okay, now I can go Java casino -GUI -test. And that should kick off my GUI version. It's not going to be doing anything. That's what's going on. It's not doing anything because I don't have anything actually programmed in here yet. So once I get my program working, then I can call it this way. I could also do it from inside of here, and I could run it. But right now, it's not doing anything because I don't have everything written correctly here. It's just asking me, do I want to play again here? And I can say yes and keep playing again, but it's not doing anything because I don't have the rest of it working. So that's what you want to be able to do, is to get it to the point that inside of JGrasp, you are able to do this play again. Once you've got it doing that, then you can actually start to do the testing. You can also do the testing via console. If you do over here instead of -GUI, the GUI version should kick off a window that looks like this, and it'll start to actually play when you have cards and other things defined properly. Then you can actually get to playing through some of this piece. So like when you get into about this portion right here, you may actually be able to run it and get this GUI piece to actually show up. So that's the start of that inside of JGrasp, and the setup for that. I'm going to go ahead and now do the same setup inside of Eclipse so that those of you who are preferring to use that can see how that works. You're going to have to do a few more things inside of Eclipse. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go into here and I'm going to close up these guys. All right, and let's go into here and let's create a new project. Actually, I'm going to import a project here. I'm going to import, let's import from projects from folder or archive. Yes, that's what I want to do. And I'm going to grab the directory that I want, and that's going to be this PA Final Eclipse. And we're just going to do this way, and we are going to do search for nested detect. We don't have anything in there at all. So we're just going to pull that PA Final Eclipse into here. And then inside of here, we want to do a new class in here. And we're going to use the default package in here. We're going to call this hand. And we're going to go ahead and do the generate comments main. So we need to create a Java project first. Let's go ahead and do a new Java project. Project name is called PA Final Eclipse. Yes, and we want to use project folders as root folders. Yes, and then we want to go into here and we're going to set it into there. I should have done this. Let's go Eclipse 2. We'll do this way. I should have done it this way and started off with creating it in Java here. Let's go ahead and do this Eclipse 2. Yes, that's what we want to do. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to delete the other one because I don't really want to do it from that one. I'm going to move this one out of here and move it into my Eclipse 2. So let's go ahead and delete this and move this into here. All right. So let's delete that and let's go back into Eclipse here. So now we're going to want to do an add of all of our different new class file here. I'm going to call this hand, and we want to just do that piece. I'm going to go ahead and take the file here that is this hand.java. I'm just going to open this in a text editor. I'm going to copy it directly into here, and I'm just going to save it. So that'll allow us to create the hand.java. We need to do the rest for all these others. Let's go in and do the keys.java next. So we want to go file, new class. We want to go keys and finish. We don't really need to do anything with that because we're not actually going to do anything with it. I'm going to copy and paste in what I've got already into here. And let's go into the next one. We want keys and we want card. So we want the next one to be the card, file new, file new class, and we want a card.java. So let's do that. And then let's go into the card over here and grab the card items. Now these two are compiling better. So we want now the Baccarat Croupier, file new folder. Oh, no, not new folder there. We want to come into here and we want file new class, and we want Baccarat Croupier. And we're going to come into here, copy this into there. I think I've got most of these. Do I need the casino? Is that the last one? Yeah. So we need to come into here, file, new class. We've got the casino. And this is only because we have some pre-existing files here. Generally, we wouldn't be doing this because we'd have other things we needed to do. 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5, we need to get these 2 classes imported though. In Eclipse, in order to do the import of these classes, I've got the description for this over here in the specification here. It tells you over here how to import this class file here. If your section is using Eclipse, you should download the jar file into your project folder in most browsers and add it to your project by right-clicking on your project. So I'm going to come into my project, which is this PA Final Eclipse, right-clicking on the project and go into under Properties. And then we want to come into this build path. Java build path here. In order to do this, I'm going to go into the build path and I'm going to add an external archives. So I want to come into libraries, source. Let's go and projects. Where are? Yes, okay, over here under this class path here, Java build path, libraries, class path. I want to add an external archive file, external jar. So I want to add an external jar. This external jar is going to be this baccarat.java. And I'm going to open that up and I'm going to apply and close. This now allows me to compile all the rest of these items here. So you saw how this was red maybe, and now it is yellow because we still have some style or otherwise some issues because we haven't or we haven't declared everything to be returning everything correctly. But this is now ready to use inside of Eclipse. So I can now come into here and I can actually run my casino.java. I could set up a runtime for that and it would ask me this idea of play again, and I can keep playing here. But right now the play is doing nothing because we're not doing anything. In order to stop that, we need to hit this red button here to end the execution. So that's the setup for both Eclipse and for JGrasp. At this point, you would want to be following through the recommended steps in here of completing the process here, this 9, 1 through 21 here. So these are the pieces you want to do in here. Implement the keys class, test the keys class. You can test this using some local main methods where you use for the keys, or you can use JUnit and create some JUnit tests. You may need to do that. You could also possibly package all of this up and submit it to AutoLab. I've left unlimited submissions on this for that case, but you really don't want to be doing that. It's best if you can do a lot of your testing locally and then submit to AutoLab when you're done with all of those pieces. So that is the setup for both of those. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'm going to stick around.